Today I'm in central London. You can see the London Eye behind me. I'm at London's South Bank, but I'm not here to go on the London Eye. I'm here to have afternoon tea. Now, if you follow the channel, you'll know that I absolutely love afternoon tea. I've recently been to the Ritz and to Harrods, but today I'm not going to a posh hotel or a posh restaurant. I'm actually going to the pub, because there is a pub chain in the UK called the Slug Lettuce that does afternoon tea. So let's go and see what afternoon tea is like in the pub. So here we are inside the Slug and Lettuce, and this has got a really weird sort of vibe to it. It's a bit like a sort of 80s cafe throwback. It's meant to be a pub, but feels sort of, they've made it very sort of family friendly, but in a sort of quite a dated way. But anyway, here's the menu. The menu's sort of quite a lot of pictures on it. It's reminiscent a little bit of the Wetherspoons menu, I think. It's sort of quite similar to that. And similar sort of pricing, sort of relatively good value, nowhere near as cheap as Wetherspoons. But interestingly, the afternoon tea isn't on this menu, so you have to order it 24 hours in advance. They don't make it here, they have to bring it in. So I had to pre-order it yesterday, which we've done. So they're now preparing it, whatever that might mean. So we'll wait and see what it does. So I can't show you the afternoon tea on the menu because it isn't on it. So just have to have a look when it turns up. Okay, so I've had to relocate tables because it was getting really busy where I was, and there were loads of children all screaming. So I've come somewhere a little bit quieter so that it doesn't affect the audio so bad. So the tea from the afternoon tea has now arrived. Now, interestingly, I've got a really small teapot and a really big mug. So I think that mug is actually bigger than the teapot. So not sure how that works, but anyway, let's have some of this tea. Looks fine. Let's have a look at it. What is it? It's Twining's English breakfast. So pretty decent, to be fair. That's a pretty posh brand. A little bit of tea. Tastes good, so let's just see what the food's like when it turns up. The afternoon tea has now arrived, and it's all come at one time, which, because it's the pub, they've made it. So I'm going to start with the different sections. We'll just have a quick run through what we've got here. In the middle, which is the savoury section, we've got three different types of sandwich. We've got a BLT, a barbecue chicken and vegetables on focaccia. At the bottom, we've got the scones with jam and cream. And at the top here, we've got the desserts, which are Eton mess, cheesecake bites and brownie bites. So let's get started with the savoury section. So let me get my section. There's some here for the cameraman, not all for me. So I will take mine off. So we've got and we'll have a little taste of see what the savoury delights are like at the Slug and Lettuce here at Waterloo. So what shall I start with? I think I'll start with the vegetable one, which it's quite different service here. Obviously, when you're in the Ritz or Harrods or a posh restaurant, they serve you usually individually, and then they will walk you through everything, how it's been cooked, how it's been prepared by the chef. That didn't really happen. I did ask the guy what it was, and he said that this was the veggie one. So it's on a focaccia bread. What we've got is some sun-dried tomatoes and rocket with what looks like maybe a bit of dressing, but let's see what it's like. It looks quite good. It's quite nice. To be fair, those sun-dried tomatoes are really tasty. Bread's a little bit soft, but overall, for a sandwich in a pub, it's quite good. Quite like that, actually. That's really tasty. Right, I'm going to dive into this barbecue chicken brioche. And the brioche feels a bit hard on the top, nice and soft on the bottom. What have we got inside? We've got barbecue chicken, some rocket lettuce, and a little bit of dressing, a bit of mayonnaise, I think. Quite well filled, quite decent size, quite big. It was a bit hard on top. I don't know whether that's stale or not. Let's see. Again, to be fair, it's not stale. It's crispy. It's like crisp. It's really nice. It's a really good sandwich, actually. Good amount of filling, good proportion of chicken to rocket. I like that. Complements quite well against the vegetable. So far, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with these sandwiches. Now, let's see what this BLT is like. So, as you would expect, bacon, lettuce and tomato. No surprise there. Bit of butter. Feels a little bit crispy on top. I don't know whether it's been toasted or it's stale. Let's see. Toasted. It's not bad. It's pretty good as well. I have to say, I'm quite impressed so far. The savoury section of this afternoon tea here in the Slug Lettuce holds up quite well. So let me finish this. Cameron's going to finish his, and we'll come back to talk about the scones. Right, it's now time for the afternoon tea speciality, the scone. I have to say that the sandwiches were pretty good, so I'm feeling pretty good so far. This scone, just get one. Quite big, quite weighty. It's been pre-cut, so it's very well sliced. Normally it's quite tricky to cut them, but this has been cut by a professional somewhere. Got raisins in it, which is always good. If you're going to just have one scone, have a raisin scone. But yeah, it's pretty big, pretty sizable. And alongside the scone, we've got Rodder's Clotted Cream, probably the most famous brand in the UK. I've had this many times before at lots of other cream teas. And Wilkin and Sons Strawberry Jam. So, which way round? Do I do the cream? Do I do the jam first? Let's have a look. Well, it's quite solid scone, so I think it could probably take the cream. Let's see if I can do the cream first. I'm going to go for that. I'll go for this bit here because it's a bit thicker. Oh yeah, that's gone on nicely. The scone hasn't broken, which is always good. Sometimes they just crumble away. So, can't remember which way round it was, whether this is the Devon or the Cornwall way. Oh, try not to drop it. Right, this jam. So this jam is a bit less impressive than some jams. A bit more of a sort of standard supermarket jam. Put a bit of that on. Let's see what we think of this. The scone is pretty good. Not warm, so you know if you go somewhere posher, they probably warm it up for you. But it's quite nice. It's a bit thick actually. It's maybe a little bit doughy. Let me just have another bit. It's quite thick. Not bad. I have to say, pretty good, but one of the problems I've got, I don't think I've got enough jam. I've got plenty of cream, got a really big scone, a bit skinny on the jam. And unfortunately here you can't ask for more because I've pre-ordered it, this is it, you get what you get. Well, I'm going to crack on, going to have the rest of this scone, Cameron's going to have theirs. I'll give you a full update once I've eaten it, and then we'll see you for the desserts. Okay, so I've now finished the scone. What was it like? Well, it wasn't bad actually. It was quite tasty, quite big, and there was enough jam to go round, so I withdraw my previous statement about the jam. Okay, let's get on to the desserts. Now, we've got 3 different desserts here. Let me just pull this down. So the big one is Eton Mess, which is a classic English dessert. So it's basically cream with meringue and a little bit of strawberry. Very, very light, that is. Then got a cheesecake bite, very soft actually. Let me just pull that over into there so you can see it. Very soft. And a brownie bite. So, oh, I flipped mine over. So compared to the usual afternoon cream teas, it's a bit disappointing on the dessert front. Usually you get some very extravagant cakes. These are fairly standard sort of bites, but let me try, I'm gonna have the Eton Mess last. I'm gonna try this brownie bite. So, looks pretty decent. It's got a bit of chocolate sauce on the top. Not bad. It's okay. Similar to what you get from a supermarket. Quite chocolatey. Yeah, it's a little treat. Not quite as exotic as some things, but it's all right. Right, this cheesecake, I'm not sure what this made of, but it's very, very soft. It's like a mousse. I'll have to eat all of that because it's so messy. It was like a chocolate-infused cheesecake mousse. Again, quite nice. Not the sort of thing that I would buy from the shop, but it's all right as a sweet treat. Now let's try this Eton Mess. Now, it's in a plastic glass, and this is so light. I think this is probably just aerated cream. So that's just cream with a little bit of meringue on the top. I'll get a bit of strawberry. Try and get the full flavour extravaganza. Well, the meringue and the strawberry is okay. The cream, I'm not sure how they've made that. It doesn't taste like real cream. Maybe it came out of a can. I don't think I'll be eating the rest of that. So it looks good, doesn't taste that great. So the desserts, a bit of a disappointment, I think, but let's not forget that this is afternoon cream tea in the Slug Lettuce pub in central London. So I'm going to finish that brownie bite. I'll have a bit more of my tea. I'll see you at the end for the wrap-up. Okay, so here we are at the end of the meal. The pub's really filled up, actually. It's absolutely packed in here. So it's quite a good atmosphere, quite a nice place. Good location, central London. So what was the afternoon tea at the Slug and Lettuce like? Well, I've still got my tea here. The tea was actually one of the best bits. Let's go through each individual part and then we'll talk about the bill and then I'll give you my final score. So the sandwiches, they were okay, they were pretty tasty. But in comparison to other afternoon teas I've had recently, not a lot of them. You only got 3 sandwiches, and with hindsight, not a huge quantity of food. So less food than you would normally get in an afternoon tea. They were okay, they were edible, quite tasty, but not the best. The scone, you only got 1, and now most afternoon teas you get 2 scones. You usually get a fruit one and the standard one. Only got a fruit one. It was quite big, but it wasn't super fresh. It was all right, and not quite enough jam for me. Cream was okay. Overall, it was all right. It was okay, but not amazing. The desserts. Now, you can see that the desserts, we've still got a full complement of desserts here because the cameraman turned his nose up at all the desserts, decided he didn't like them. I didn't really like mine either. I didn't eat that Eton mess. The other 2 things, they were a bit weird. I think the desserts are the big failing of this afternoon tea. Usually, the scone and the desserts are the highlight of the tea. You come away looking at the amazing desserts, eating them, talking about them. I'm not going to be talking about these desserts in a positive way going forward, so they were a bit of a letdown. So how much did this cost? Well, this is the big difference. This is the really big difference. We're in central London, Waterloo, so this is the most expensive that you will pay. And this afternoon tea was £18 each. So that compares to, if we talk about the Ritz, it's £90 plus, might be even £95 now. Harrods, it's £80 plus. So £18 is like 4 or 5 times less expensive. So it is good value for money. If you want an afternoon tea experience in quite a lively setting, then this does tick the box. You get tea with it, and it's got all the constituent parts. The quality isn't anywhere near what you would get in those other places, so it's not really directly comparable, but it's still an afternoon treat. It's a bit of fun. It's a nice conversation piece. You can go through it piece by piece, and it's quite nice to do. So overall, I think it's worth considering. It's presented quite nicely, and the staff are very nice. You don't have to pay any service charge. So if I was at the Ritz, I'm going to get charged 12.5%, 15% service on top of that. Because you're in a pub, you don't have to do that. It's discretionary. You do what you like. You do get a few kids in here screaming, but that's by the by. So overall, it's not a bad option. What would my score be for the Slug and Lettuce afternoon tea? I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I think it was okay. It had the right pieces. Just the pieces weren't that great. So I wouldn't come back and have it again, but it was definitely worth trying. It was a good experience. It's fun coming to the pub, have an afternoon tea. If you're coming to London or anywhere in the UK where there's a Slug and Lettuce, look it up. You will have to book it the day in advance though. You won't be able to buy it on the day. It's only pre-order. But it's pretty cheap and it's quite good fun. So that's my overall assessment. If you've liked what I've said today, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'll see you again on the next meal.